Oh yeah, sure. You're gonna see my privacy, guys, because this is like internal workflows.
That's fine.
Um,
That's good. I think the biggest issue is not the initial part of it. That's the easy part. I think it's what happens after, like when the client does talk to the agent for a little bit and books a call, and then kind of what happens afterwards. You know what I mean?
yeah, completely. Uh, Let me know.
Yeah.
You're seeing right now. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Uh, yeah. It's okay. Just there were. So the idea here is like having triggering the status of the calls. In every workflow, we need like the proper triggerings to know which specific action you are. Here we are picking the no show, the show, and when the customer books an appointment. So for example, in your scenario, should be like kind of if customer replied but didn't book an appointment. I'm
Yes.
I'm seeing like we can find a tweak over there. So here we have three branches actually. That the first branch is when the user booked the proper appointment, and here it sends a welcome email like, yeah, your appointment was scheduled. It removes and adds some tags just for internal management of this workflow, creates the opportunity, and then waits for 1 day before and then a logic hour like 8 a.m. and not 1 a.m. on the morning,
I
sends a,
love it.
sends a new email like saying, hey, your appointment is 1 day away. And then this is what Eddie was speaking about. This is the webhook. Here we can generate like generative messages or static messages. There's always recommended to generate um, generated messages because we drop down the rate of spamming for Meta. Imagine that all of the messages will be crafted and they're not gonna be like a copy paste kind of.
Yeah, this is message on WhatsApp we have to precise.
Mhm.
So when you see like the icon of webhooks, it's a way from the workflows to send message to the contact on WhatsApp. And as he said, we can send a fixed message with dynamic variable or even a generative message to do like what you said earlier about like the waiting list and all of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
And then it waits for 1 hour before, sends another message, and sends a WhatsApp message. This is an email, and these are WhatsApps. 5 minutes before, the same, and
Yep.
this is for the idea of increasing the show rate and decreasing obviously the no show rate. But we definitely will have no shows.
Yeah.
So the workflow, the branch of no show finds the opportunity because on the first hand the opportunity was created, so it moves the opportunity from the stage of meeting upcoming to the stage no show, so the closers can see actually the opportunities, just moving the appointment outcome to show to no show. This workflow triggers automatically. So after
Wow.
1 hour the no show was tagged. It waits for 1 hour after and sends an email and says like, oh, to me it happens all the time. I'm also super full of appointments and it may happen, don't worry, we can reschedule. And it turns on the spark for like turning a conversation into a reschedule conversation. If
Yeah.
reschedule did not happen, it will wait for next day and do a second chance, like doing the same. And if it does not happen, it waits for the third day, and that's like the last attempt. And if it didn't booked an appointment, imagine if it rebooked, it will happen this flow again, the first one that we seen. And if after the third chance didn't happen, for example, we have four here, it will wait for 32 days. And
Great. A month later.
yeah, after that month, it will speak about that we have new features and stuff going on. And at the same time, for example, with the show, we turn off the follow up.
Yes.
So and in this and when the user books an appointment, we also turn off the follow up, like the natural follow up of WhatsApp. and we still have pending here the flow of showed, like what happened after it shows, if it gets into a nurturing list, but we have to create like some crazy stuff there for.
Luis, is this for when you talk about appointments? Is this just for a phone call, or is this also specifically for Zooms and Google Meets?
This is just for an appointment. Yeah,
So how does it know if it books an appointment? Does it talk to Chloe and you could see in the WhatsApp text if it booked an appointment or not?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Like this is triggered specifically for the conversation. Like
Okay.
Hmm.
So that is perfect in every shape, way, and form, if it's a show or no show. I think the next workflow that I need to create is a very simple one where I go into GoHighLevel and let's say I talk to somebody and then Chloe talked to them. They booked an appointment. We had a great Zoom call. Nothing happens afterwards for like blah, 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 5 days, let's say, or a month. Zero, nothing happens, right? I could basically a workflow where I just change the tag, and I have to do this, I guess, and so does Matt. Manually, we have to do this, is change the tag to nurture, for example, and then it triggers a new workflow. Just a mailing list once a month, with a WhatsApp message going out once a month to them, saying, "Hey, we chatted a month ago. Let me know if I'm super busy. Let me know if we should jump on a call again and revisit what we talked about. If not, no worries. Enjoy your day."
Great. Yeah, and we can even from workflow make from workflow jump to other workflow without even tags. That's also great. So we can create like crazy stuff. Like,
but how? That's my question. How does it know if there's no way for it to know if, for example, Chloe books a call with me and then I start talking to it on my regular WhatsApp, John, for example, and then John is like interested. We're moving, and then all of a sudden, John's sister gets a car accident, breaks her leg, and he goes completely quiet. That, I guess, is just not at the level yet where this would know that John and me are not talking anymore.
If the communication you have with John is through your personal WhatsApp, technically, if you scan your personal WhatsApp on the sub account, it will be made through the same conversation. So the context will be merged on the same. And second thing that make me think is when you have a meeting with someone, if you can record the call with Firefly or this kind of software, or even just take notes, then you can go to the contact page. I don't know if you can show on your screen, Luis, the contact page and going to additional info, just to show to them the WhatsApp additional information custom field.
Got it. This is in
Contact page, yeah. So basically, there is a way to whisper in the ear of the AI agent. So if you want to give like a kind of custom instructions or a specific contact, you can do it simply by going on the contact page, scrolling down to additional info, the accordion additional info.
no,
you missed it.
Yeah, sorry.
Right there, you have a custom fields when you can write, we just had a meeting with John. He said to me that he has 2 dogs, 5 child, and retire in Playa del Carmen in 2025. And with this kind of information, Chloe will be able to follow up better because she will have more information. So when Chloe will follow up and do all of these kind of messages on the workflows that you saw, it will be able to leverage all of this key information that you fetch.
Crazy. Okay. So yeah, that's the only thing is you have to be still present and like update the CRM into what happened with that client, basically.
Yeah, if you call him, if everything off, you have to write it there.
Okay.
Ideally. And that's great for the, that's great, like just to keep her up to date about what's going on with this lead. Yeah.
Yeah, and at the same time, imagine guys that we can this field we can auto-populate it with automation. So if I'm getting your point, Lev, we definitely can like make this automated. I mean, it needs more mind and brain in the automation, and but definitely, yeah, it's possible.
All right, I have a few questions.
Okay, got it.
First of all, super impressive. So one, and I asked Victor this as well. He wasn't too sure. Say there's, say 1,000 numbers in the database, and once I really change my audio here to
Uh,
Can you guys hear me okay?
So.
yeah.
Mike, Lev, your
Can you
mic
hear
was
me?
off.
Yeah, I'm muting myself because I'm loud. My headphones died, so I'm muting myself.
So
Okay.
say there's 1,000 numbers in there, and 100 of the numbers do not have WhatsApp. What happens? Because I was just working with Victor on creating a basic follow-up campaign for the first 7 days, and then having a tag that nurtures over for a message once a month if they don't respond. But those are going to cost snaps. So if that number is it being if there is there something where if the message is being delivered or not being delivered, that it gives us a notification, or will it just continue trying to send it out on that automation in with no end?
So that's a great question. There's even a function inside the CRM that we can track if the phone is valid or if it's not valid. So imagine that I feel like the first step should be like as Lev was showing in his screen with their sketch, that the first step, the first opt-in should always ask for the WhatsApp, and then we will definitely can trigger out automations that way. But also we can definitely like create a conditional: if valid WhatsApp, go to this way; if not valid WhatsApp, go to this way, and send emails until valid WhatsApp.
Gotcha. Okay, so there is a way that you can in a workflow validate the number. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, okay, perfect. Yeah, because we've just been working with the webhooks and the generated message and which bot to kind of fire out and then when to stop it. And basically, we're just moving from workflow to workflow. And then I'm just focusing on Tulum, and then I'm going to duplicate the whole thing over. For example, like when you did your last workflow for the follow-up messages and emails and all that, is that something that we could duplicate and run off of to so we can make it our own? And second of all, when you add a tag like that says follow up off, is that a separate workflow that then to cancel the workflow? Like if you go back to that workflow you were just in, if you wouldn't mind, Louise. So if you go over to the top right where it says add tag follow up off, right? So under the show, yeah, so that one there. So for example, is there a separate workflow? Oh, I see. So tags, WhatsApp follow up off, but that wouldn't. Okay, so that would just stop her from messaging or the AI agent from messaging. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you click appointment no show, that's probably a WhatsApp follow up or appointment. That's just
This is an internal one because if it has the appointment no show, it will keep on going this branch.
How
So
many times is it the intent? How many times does it follow up after for a no show?
3.
3? Yeah.
Yeah, 3 for the next 3 days. So here, Matt, for your information, what it does, this workflow, is actually tracks if it has the no-show tag or if it doesn't. So if it does, if it doesn't, if it does and it reboots, it will remove it through this other part. So it's like it's always tracking if it has it or if it don't. And if it don't, it's because he already went to the reschedule process. That was like the logic on building. I don't know if it's the best logic, but it works.
no, it's perfect. And see this whole workflow here is if they got to the appointment stage and booked it, but just didn't show up. Like
Yeah.
this is just one little branch of them booking the call, right? Which is wild with what you can do. Because I'm starting to dive in and get a really good feeling as to how webhooks works and how the messaging works and when to stop her and when to get her going and just kind of fine tuning that process. And I was hoping because I have Cami kind of my assistant kind of working on the basics, and then maybe having one of you guys just kind of review it because there's going to be something that doesn't click or doesn't work that could be pretty simple. Because all I wanted was to have Jasmine's my AI agent. A new lead comes in, Jasmine's doing a reach out an email campaign, they're trying to get a quote to call, and then if we don't hear from them in a week after a couple of different messages, then a tag gets added and it goes to a different long-term nurture workflow with a long-term Jasmine sending a message once a month, kind of create curiosity. Hey, are you still in the market? I have been watching, seeing any of my emails. Do you have any questions? And do that for
On that note, before I forget, sorry, I just want to jump in there quick. When we set up our bots to follow up once a month, let's say the client fell off and nothing happens, in that follow up, can we send videos via email and videos via WhatsApp as well?
Yeah, obviously.
Yes. Yeah. The video on WhatsApp is very fire. It works so good.
Because here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to create for no show. Let's talk about, sorry, Matt, you can continue in a sec. I'm almost done. So let's say you create, you have 3 days, you said it follows up after the no show. So I'm going to create 3 30-second videos being like, hey, we had a call yesterday, blah, blah, sends it out. And another one the second day, hey, we booked a call 2 days ago, still in the market, here it is, sends it out. And then the third day. And then I'm going to create 12 short videos that are going to be very generic, so I never have to fucking do them again, is for the monthly one. Hey, we chatted a month ago, let's jump back in if you're ready, blah, blah, blah. Yeah? Okay.
And how do you add those videos in? That's the question, because I think we have the plan in our head, but it's the manpower, and then us not having the knowledge that you guys have to be able to do it. Like, is this part of still the onboarding and setup, or is it just the agent setup? Or is it like a fine line right now?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, imagine that this software, like, you can create crazy stuff, and it's great when business people meet up with this software. But definitely it has like a ramp up of the learning curve on how to use it. Um, Included, like, in the service, we used to include like agent creation, and not like all the consultancy and that kind of service. That's why we were like thinking out with Eddie, regarding your question too, like, hey, we should speak of ads. And yeah, it's like, should we offer the guys like a typical ad package, or we should like dive deep into them and be like partners, real partners, and think this stuff together. um, that was like we were speaking, because we didn't want it like to send you a code for a classic ads campaign that it may work, because we understand that it's like more than just that. It's like much more, like thinking in the logics, the automations, the flows, the sketches, and yeah. Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, because I think at the beginning, like the reason that we're diving deep into this, obviously we want to have things automated and not have leads fall through the cracks. But the biggest thing for Lev and I think we're in agreement, is that we want to be able to duplicate this and go basically be one of your, if not your most important referral partner to the service. Because I think there's a huge gap there, and we both have networks, and we started talking about it earlier with our previous GoHighLevel agency, and got a ton of interest, but it just was a mess because we couldn't even show it ourselves. We didn't know what we were doing. Now we're really learning the ins and outs of it, and I think it could be pretty powerful. I did have one other question. When it came to the WhatsApp. Oh, if say it asks for a human help, and that tag where basically the bot gets stuck, are you now messaging them through our personal WhatsApp, or are we taking over the AI agent? Like when I go to WhatsApp in the contact and they say, yeah, you need help, are we pretending we're that AI agent? You know what I mean? Because there's basically 2 separate WhatsApp accounts, my personal one and the AI agent. Right.
Yes.
So if in that, there's probably, it's be very rare that there's conversation taking place, but now we're pretending we're that AI agent because they needed help. Is that you would just do it through their account, I guess? Like, they don't merge together, right?
Quick question. With Victor, you set up 2 WhatsApp accounts, right?
We just set up the one account.
One account, okay. And your question was like, you have one AI agent that is your assistant, right?
Yep.
And this is the one you set up with Victor?
Yeah. Yeah. So sorry, here's my question. In the contact section of a contact, it has a WhatsApp and a WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Are those two different, like, for
Okay, I got
example, say she passes it on to me. Now, if I type on WhatsApp, is that going to be through my WhatsApp number now? My group, my workplace, my WhatsApp business,
so
WhatsApp business?
yeah, actually the tab WhatsApp, it's the channel WhatsApp, like classic integration with the API and like the classic integration. And the tab WhatsApp, it's basically the account you scan with the QR code on WhatsApp. So technically,
Gotcha. Okay. So
you can write through the two channel on the same contacts. Yeah.
right, yeah. Because if the WhatsApp conversation is logged and then they book a call, and now I'm going to be messaging them through WhatsApp, I want to be able to see it on my business WhatsApp, right? I would just need to connect that to GoHighLevel
Exactly.
with my number. Okay.
Yeah,
The
it
only
will,
number that's connected is the WhatsApp number.
uh-huh. It will work, but you will not have like the AI stuff on WhatsApp. But the
No, of
message
course.
will go through. Exactly.
That could even be like, because then I can message them, hey, it's Matt. I saw that had a great call with you. This is my personal private number. Let's communicate through here from now.
Mhm. And same with SMS and email. I will write a message to the CTO because I'm wondering if all of the conversation ongoing on the inbox can be used on the context. Because I'm wondering if we take just the conversation through WhatsApp or if we also fetch the conversation ongoing on Instagrams, ongoing on Instagram. I know it's not the case, but email, SMS, and classic WhatsApp, I'm wondering if we use this as a context. So I will just ask. That make me think.
Okay.
Thank
Hey,
you.
that's perfect. Thank you. And then one last question. If somebody goes through, they have the qualifying questions, how many bedrooms, budget, location, can that information be summarized into the additional info of that contact card?
Yeah,
Or do we have to go
100%.
through? Yeah.
We develop a features that we deployed this morning called custom yes, custom field. Because in France it's already the end of the day, so we already have 1 day of development since today.
Okay.
So
And when this stuff is ready to be deployed, do you guys go into our account and set that up, or do we have to do a call with you, or how does that work?
no, it's automatic. So basically, right now you have the features called custom field auto populations. That means that the AI agent speak with your lead, and then when you set up your agent on the setting tab, you can say, okay, I want to auto populate and auto qualify the information of my lead through the conversation. So you can say, I want the budget, I want the readiness, I want where the person is living, the city. You can ask all of the information you want, and the AI will ask the questions and populate the custom field of your CRM.
Okay. So that's already set up.
Yep.
Okay. So you don't,
I can share my screen to show you how to use it if you want.
You would love this feature, Matt.
yeah, well, it just because rather than going into the GoHighLevel and scrolling through a conversation to find out what they're interested in, it'd be nice to just have it right there before the call.
Yep, I can share my screen. Up. All right, let me just go to the right tab. That's the happy Eddie. Okay, so we have here our agent called Edit Triage. And if I go to settings, you will see the settings of the bot. And now you have contact autofill settings. Allow the bot to automatically update contact information in GoHighLevel when it gathers details during the conversation. If you turn on this option, then it will show you all of the different field of the contact page. and you can basically click on it and then decide if you want override or not. So what is the features of override? Let's say you have a conversation with a client. He starts by saying that he has 250K budget, and after 2 days of communication, he ends up saying that he has 500K. So if you click override, it will basically put the new price. And
Okay.
this is
Is that conversation between me and the client, or is that conversation between the client and the AI agent?
between
The agent.
more or less both, actually. It's between the agent and the lead. But if you take over and you write some things like, okay, what's your budget? And he answer, this answer will trigger the population of the field. So it's like conversation ongoing on WhatsApp where the agent is set up. Associated, I would say even. Right. So this is cool, but we also have the custom field part, and this is where you can add all of your real estate questions, right? And then to explain to the agent how it works and which field to populate and how to populate it, you can, for example, going to, sorry, for this, some fields, aka.
Oh, Eddie, your screen stopped sharing.
Ah, it's an issue with my browser. Let me share again.
I see. So you have to go, I'm in there now, you have to go to custom fields and add.
Yep. You basically have to go to the custom field itself when you create it. For example, if I create one here, I will do a simple one. And here, if you click on additional preference, here you have the descriptions. This description is basically the prompt. So it's like fill this input text when you get the budget of the user. You see? And this is how you can basically gather information from the conversation straight from your custom field.
Okay. So it's possible, but we have to set it up.
Yeah, 100%. And I will even advise you to do that if you just want like one place on your contact page where you populate all of the informations. Could be interesting to do that in WhatsApp additional info. It's a custom field that already exists, and this field is used as the main context.
Yeah, that's
It's
okay. So how would you? So you would go into the custom fields, and then type in the additional info. Can you just show me that really quick?
yeah, right there.
Yeah, but if we wanted it all in one area in the WhatsApp box, how would we go? So we'd have to go back to the custom field and open the previous one, right? So we'd have to click on that one there.
Yeah.
And then add in the prompts into that one, right?
Luis, I have a question for you. How? I find it. Listo, gracias. So yes, Matt, you can edit the current custom prompt, and as you can see here, there is a description.
So you can just take all the information on budget, location, time frame, any other information important, and put it into it.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's powerful.
So I'm total side note. Speaking of, the affiliate